Good day. I would like to share with us on how to treat hypertension in 5 minutes. But before I proceed, I would like you to subscribe and click on the notification bell. Thank you. Hypertension is a serious medical condition which affects a lot of people globally. It is said that about 1.28 billion adults have been within the age of 30 to 79 years have been affected, but a lot of people are not aware because hypertension is asymptomatic. What that means simply means that the symptoms are not shown until the condition becomes so serious. That is when people go to the hospital and they discover that they are having hypertension. However, the good news is that globally, about 42% of adults with hypertension have been diagnosed and treated because the treatment is available, but we need to meet the global target for non-communicable disease so that it will reduce its prevalence. But before I go further, I would like to introduce us to some of the terms and the definition of hypertension. And the definition of hypertension, please do stay to the end of the video to fully understand how to treat hypertension in 5 minutes. As I said before, hypertension simply means when the blood pressure is too high or elevated blood pressure. However, it's a serious medical condition that significantly increases the risk of other disease conditions like heart problem, brain, kidney, and other diseases in the body. As I said before we say a person is hypertensive, that individual must be diagnosed on 2 different days by measuring the blood pressure. When the systolic blood pressure on the 2 days is equal to above 140 millimeter of mercury, and the diastolic pressure reading gives equal or above 90 millimeter of mercury. Let me simply explain what systolic and diastolic means. Systolic is a unit in measuring blood pressure. Both systolic and diastolic are unit in measuring blood pressure, and the systolic is the upper value while the diastolic is the lower value. Having said that, I will still take time to explain how, as you go further, I will take time to explain how to treat the hypertension in 5 minutes. Do stay tuned and listen to the end. At the end of the video, you understand how that it is very easy to treat hypertension in 5 minutes. A lot of factors exposes people to have hypertension, and it is simply called risk factor. And we have different types. There are some that can be managed and some others that cannot be managed. Those that can be managed are also called modifiable risk factor, which includes our diet. If we manage our diet very well, healthy lifestyle, reducing the risk factor of exposing ourselves to being hypertensive. Other things which involve our diet is also taking good fruits and vegetables. Lack of physical exercise is very, very important because especially those people that live sedentary lifestyle, they are exposing themselves to become hypertensive. Consumption of too much tobacco is another risk factor. Excessive alcohol and obesity. That is why it is important for us to always exercise, reduce alcohol intake, and if possible, quit smoking. And the one outside our control, or also known as non-modifiable risk factor, those one has to do with genetic makeup of the individual, that is family history. Age is a risk factor that cannot be controlled. Those people age over 65, above 65 to 66 years of age, those people are at higher risk of being hypertensive. Another one is other people having underlying medical condition like cardiovascular disease, comorbid condition, other medical condition. Those people too are at high risk of having been hypertensive. Please do subscribe and click the notification button. Thank you. Before I continue, I would like to share with us the signs and symptoms of hypertension now that we have understood what hypertension really means. Hypertension is also called a silent killer because many people are not aware that they are hypertensive because there's no warning sign or symptoms. Therefore, it is important to always check up our blood pressure regularly or periodically. And these are some of the common symptoms which many hypertensive patients experience. Early morning headache, which resemble as if the person is not refreshed after. Normally, when you wake up in the morning, you should supposed to feel refreshed. But this common sign of hypertension is that the patient, such individual will feel early morning headache. Another one is nose bleeding. Is common with some of hypertensive patients. Buzzing in the ears and visual changes is another common symptoms. But in very serious cases, they will have symptoms like fatigue, general malaise, nausea and vomiting. A lot of them are also feeling confused. Some patients or individuals even develop anxiety disorder, especially in chest area, chest pain and muscle tremor, that is why it is important for us to regularly check our blood pressure. As a matter of fact, it is very, very important for us to have health practitioner to check our blood pressure regularly, which is the best way to detect it on time. That process is very fast, easy, and painless to check. Thank you. We have come to the end of part 1. Please stay tuned and endeavor to watch the part 2. Then we will understand that it's very easy for us to treat and manage hypertension in 5 minutes. Subscribe and hit the notification bell. Thank you.